ranking semi-final, and one of these two men, the two most successful players in the history of the European Tour, both three-time finalists in this very event. Michael van Gerwen has won 2 of those finals, Peter Wright has won 1, and it was a 6-0 whitewash of that man right there, Michael van Gerwen, on this stage 2 years ago. One of the most sensational displays we have ever seen on the European Tour. And coming into this match, Peter Wright is playing better than MVG.
So, ladies and gentlemen, first leg is Peter to throw first. Game on.
It is Snakebite versus Mighty Mike. Paul Nicholson in the box. Can Peter Wright do this, Paul?
Yes, he can, because this afternoon proved that he is moving in the right direction.
He has spent 20 minutes backstage, not 10 yards from us, throwing at one of the boards they've set up here, trying to prepare himself for this tie.
He looked focused as well. He had the wireless earbuds in, thinking about how he can beat MVG. And the thing is, he knows he can. He's done it before, like you mentioned. But Peter Wright said something to me last night when he came off stage after he beat Neil Zonnevel, which was an iffy performance. He said, I'm working on it. And after he finished this afternoon, it was, yeah, I'm coming back. And a lot of the things that Peter says to people, it's him showing confidence. And you can read him pretty easily.
138.
At the minute, I believe he's on the way back. I think it's coming.
Double-double, it's going to be. It's not going to go, though.
56.
And this would be some statement from Michael van Gerwen. But it's not going to happen, and Peter Wright has a fabulous opportunity to hold his throw and go into the lead in this one. He's lost his last 4 consecutive games against MVG.
There she is. Starting with a 14 darter. Not a bad start at all. These guys obviously played each other the other night, and there was a lot of fun to go with that one. That will be fun for Snakebite. Obviously mocking what happened with Gurney and Price, and I found that absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny, and Peter Wright saw the funny side of it as well, despite being on the wrong end of an 8-1 trouncing. But he didn't do a great deal wrong, Peter Wright. It's just that Van Gerwen was flying. He averaged more than 110 in that game. He would have whitewashed many, many other players. And Peter Wright was averaging a ton himself. It was all right from Snakebite. It just wasn't at the level it needed to be in a special performance from MVG. But this weekend, he's averaging 101 for the tournament. Van Gerwen only 95. It was pretty good against James Richardson this afternoon, but it was very laboured against Brendan Dolan. He's lucky to have come away with a victory there.
Yeah, he was broken 4 times in that match. I can't remember Michael ever winning a match 6-5 after being broken 4 times.
Oh.
He's done that twice today. He actually did that very shot to beat Brendan Dolan earlier. Well, before this match commenced, there was the usual handshake between the two, but there were very focused individuals on that stage. Quick look in the eye, and then off she goes. Well, they both know that this is a great opportunity to pick up another title.
Well, look, they met in Graz, and it was not a good game. It was 90 averages, and Michael van Gerwen won it in a last leg decider, and he came off after that, and he told us, didn't he, after winning the title, if Peter Wright can't beat me when I'm playing like that, he will never beat me. Well, don't be so sure about that, MVG, because he is not a spent force, Peter Wright. There have been other things going on in his life over the last few weeks and months that may have distracted him from his darts, but there have been performances of astonishing quality within this time period where the Premier League campaign has gone horrifically for him.
Now that's almost out the way, he can move on. He was talking to Elmer about that yesterday. And 6 darts from 167 to get the lead back. You have to say that Joe being here for Peter is very good for him.
81.
There she is. Mrs. Snakebite. And his hair is looking, with all due respect to Paul Brown, of course, the guy who's been doing it in Joe's absence, it's looking a little bit more
86.
accurate.
It's got a little bit more pop to it, hasn't it?
A bit more edge.
Is this one going to pop? He's tried to go the same route.
Yeah,
But he has to use the ball and he pins it.
Well, I think it's Michael to throw first.
I love it when he does that 360 spin celebration. You got to know how to do that.
93.
Get that one wrong, you'll look pretty silly. Bit like when Ian White earlier went to do a dab off the hockey and tripped and nearly went into the camera. Can Peter Wright hold throw 6 times?
60.
I don't think it's going to be that simple.
Even when Peter Wright is not in his best form, and as I say, there have been signs
120.
that he's coming back of late. There is something special about a Michael Van Gerwen versus Peter Wright clash. It's been a World final, it's been a Premier League final, it's been a World Grand Prix final, it's been countless finals on the European Tour.
60.
Got to say though, Dan, those pants don't go with that top.
All right, Gok one.
174.
I like the shirt, I like the pants, I don't like them together.
All right, there you go. Gok one dart. Paul Nicholson there for you.
Very good.
100. Michael 114.
That's a talk to Peter Manley about that potential nickname.
Michael Van Gerwen
Yeah,
has
so
now
for
made it
line,
2-all. He's won 2
next
legs,
thing to
both
throw
of them
first.
on throw with 12 darters. You do not need me to tell you that that means that Peter Wright needs a perfect 9-dart leg to break MVG.
But he doesn't need to break him in the match because he won the ball.
And that's the key thing, isn't it?
100.
MVG has to break Wright. And if it does go 11 holes, this is going to be very good. It's already very good. MVG averaging way north of 100. North of 100 is Peter Wright. Also, this is what you get when you ask for this match. You get quality.
Well,
57.
we saw Van Gerwen averaging these sorts of numbers on Thursday night, and Peter Wright wasn't able to stick with him. In the early stages here, he is. Also on Thursday night, it should be noted, Michael Van Gerwen didn't miss a single dart at double until he got match darts. Then he missed 3 before pinning it. So walked away with about an 80%
96.
checkout rate, which is just astonishing. That's one of the ways that you get those enormous averages. You just don't mess around at the end of legs. Peter Wright not looking to mess around here. Go on, get your maths right, Peter. Already had one
96.
brain fade this weekend for him against Neil Zonneveld. Nearly cost him as well.
Yeah, we didn't really get to the bottom of that, did we? What did he say?
He said he basically forgot what he needed.
He just
and
threw
then
the
just
dart
threw
away.
it anywhere,
54.
which is a dangerous thing to do in a tight match.
Double 16. Excellent from Peter Wright. To the sheer glee of this publicum in Sindelfingen.
Well, this already has a bit of the feel
134.
of Michael van Gerwen versus Keegan Brown on the European Tour. It was the German Darts Championship. It's the one European Tour that Michael van Gerwen has not won this year. Darryl Gurney won it, and partially helped by Keegan Brown taking care of the world number 1. And he did that when MVG was going berserk at him, throwing 110 average, and he kept on taking out, kept on holding. And there was
44.
one chance to break Van Gerwen, and Keegan Brown took it. The chance might be coming here for Peter Wright, but he has to score well to give himself the opportunity.
Correct.
He's not done it there.
He's scoring really well with these darts as well, which are becoming the new default set.
We've seen him a few times. I think this is the set that he used against Rob Cross in the Premier League, where he averaged 100. It's just that Cross was superb and averaged 105 and managed to win it. But he's played some excellent stuff this year, and this is pretty excellent as well. All weekend it's been pretty good from Peter Wright. Even the Zonneveld game, where it was iffy, there was still so much good stuff there.
Team Snakebite on the left, Team Van Gerwen on the right. You don't see the entourages that you do in the world of golf and football. An entourage in darts is one.
Well, I mean, you know, get back on the tour and maybe change that.
I never had anybody.
108.
An entourage of zero.
Cry me a river answer. 53 left. This might be the chance. It is the chance. Because Van Gerwen needed another one in there.
53.
This is such a big chance. And he's going to go for 17. Double 18. Big double.
Massive moment in this game. For the first time, Michael Van Gerwen offers up a chance and Peter Wright jumps on it. Hammered in the Premier League twice this year. 8-1 and 7-1. Beaten 6-5 in Austria just a week ago, despite Van Gerwen playing nowhere near his best. Well, here, Van Gerwen is putting in his best average of the weekend, and it is not enough right now.
He's lifting it, though.
174.
Well, we can barely hear Kirk Bevins because of the noise of this snakebite-laden crowd. I think we know who the favourite son is.
59.
Behind Max Up.
Well, you know what? So often, Peter Wright has had to take on MVG, and he's had to take him on in finals of the European Tour. And over the last couple of years, that's been an extended format. Now, it is easier to beat MVG playing as fewer legs as possible, smaller number as possible.
Correct.
So, yeah, get him early, get him in the quarters.
140.
Well, Peter Wright called it yesterday. He said to me, after we had the chuckle about the going for the bull and hitting an 8,
89.
he said, I beat him here 2 years ago 6-0. He remembered it. He doesn't like to
forget that.
He doesn't like to remember certain things, but that he remembers. And he said, I'm just going to have to beat him in the quarters this time. And there was a look in his eye.
There's a look in Van Gerwen's eye here. Oh, look at this. Oh, didn't give it enough.
91.
Wow, that died in the air, didn't it? And all of a sudden, Peter, for 5-2, looking at the bull. What a bullseye. That one's a bit precarious. Double 16 and listen to this.
70.
Wow. Wow. What a moment. Van Gerwen comes back. He's not going to miss double 10. 13 darter. Van Gerwen breaks back immediately. He needs to find another break.
Look at the quality.
42.
This game has been littered with it.
This game is delivering. This whole weekend has seen a fabulous array of top quality darts. The quarterfinals, it's fair to say,
92.
in terms of the stats, haven't lived up to some of the stuff we've seen so far this weekend, but this is delivering.
But we've talked about
95.
the experience of going from Sunday afternoon to Sunday night. Well, who's got more experience of that than these two who have won more on the European Tour than anyone?
100.
This is the it's the Classico, isn't it? El Classico?
Well, look, in terms of Euro Tour darts, this is very
93.
much the big game. The two most successful players on the tour. They've won more titles than anybody else. Granted, Van Gerwen is far and away got a bigger number. He's got 32 titles. Peter Wright has 6.
139.
That's good. And Michael might start 19s on 271. Yeah, very good counting. Both on 170. Both got the fishing rod out. If someone hits one of these, this crowd's going to go bananas.
100.
Leaves himself 70. Van Gerwen, something of a signature shot. But he can't produce it either. And now Peter Wright. This
96.
weekend, As in all of Peter Wright's success in his entire career, it's these kind of checkouts. Those Phil Taylor-y type checkouts. You get one, you might get two darts, but they just go.
You want two, and he's going for the 30. One dart at tops. Flick the flight. Once more, it's one dart missed. And MVG's ready to get himself in there. He's got two. He doesn't
58.
connect with double 16. And Wright has three darts at double 10 to put himself within one of the semis.
Michael van Gerwen, the two-time champion here, and Sindelfingen is pushed to the brink of defeat in the quarterfinals as Peter Wright is one leg away. He has a throw here to win it 6-3, his first win since he beat him in the Champions League of Darts semi-finals.
And that's where he came out and said he's got the formula. He knows how to beat MVG. He hasn't told anybody what it is. It's almost as mysterious as the recipe at KFC or the ingredients for Coke.
Well, to be fair to him, he came out before that semi-final and said, I've got the recipe for beating Michael. I've got the secret formula to beat MVG. And I think that raised a few eyebrows. I think it raised Van Gerwen's eyebrows. But he went out and showed that he did have it. Because he beat him once again. That was the fourth time on TV that he'd beaten him that year.
Hasn't got it done yet.
139.
That's a really good response from MVG. Needs to get back in that red bit. Plenty of force behind that last dart.
Well, if Peter Wright does not win it in this leg, he might have to break MVG in the next one to win it, because if you go to a last leg decider, there's only one outcome, isn't there? The last 25 last leg deciders MVG's been involved in, he has won. So best to get the job done now, Snakey. Ooh, does that wreck his chances somewhat?
That's an ugly 5, because it leaves him a sticky number. And Van Gerwen has got a much nicer number, but it's a chance. And when you play MVG, all you want is a chance. 119, now it's 100. He's not going to get a shot at a double. And MVG needs Shanghai to stay alive.
59.
60 for the match if he's allowed it. He might not. But he will, and Michael van Gerwen is going to face match darts. He scraped through against Brendan Dolan in his opening game. He scraped through in Saarbrücken and survived in match darts in 2 separate games and won the title. Peter Wright, will he let him off? He might. Not this time, MVG! Not this time! Peter Snakebite Wright, a 3-time finalist at the European Darts Grand Prix, dumps out the 2-time champion here, and he is through to the semi-finals. He's been sliding down the rankings. He's enjoyed a torrid time in the Premier League, but has Peter Wright just become the favourite to take this title here tonight?
Frick mit dabei war, aber der Sieg geht an Snakebite Peter Wright. Congratulations, Peter. That means quite a lot to you, huh? Snakebite Peter Wright. Ich glaube, der hat so ein bisschen mit den Tränchen gekämpft. Das war auch für ihn, das ist so wichtig in seiner